public office because the things that this nation stands for are worth working and fighting for. So I first said those words in 1988 at my first nomination meeting, and those words still hold as true today as they did when I first said them some 20 years ago. My roots are in Haldimand and my home is here in Norfolk. And like you, I have heartfelt concerns of where this country is going, for our communities and our way of life in Haldimand and Norfolk. And I want to make a difference to the people living here. I want to thank Courtney Brady from Caledonia for her eloquent nomination speech, and Ken Porteous for seconding the motion. Courtney is a great supporter, and she represents the future of this party. She feels passionately about the issues facing her community and her country, and she's willing to get involved and to make a difference. And that's great to see from young people today. A long-time Liberal, a farmer from Norfolk, who has worked very hard over the years for the Liberal Party here, not only in Haldimand, Norfolk, but here in Canada. And I want to thank him for taking this opportunity to second my nomination. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here tonight to support me and to support the Liberal Party, and for your continued support of me and my family over the number of years that I have had the privilege of representing this riding. And I want to particularly thank my wife Joan, Christopher, and Victoria for coming out tonight and for supporting me in this nomination. I want to also thank my mother, Doris Donaldson, who's here also, who has for years worked on this campaign. I make this commitment to you here tonight, that I will work as hard as I can with you to win this great riding back for the Liberal Party of Canada in the upcoming election. It is this political atmosphere that no party, no person is guaranteed a victory. Well, what I commit to you here tonight is that I will bring to this next battle not only enthusiasm, commitment, energy, and ideas, but also the strong team that is needed to win this riding. As Canadians coming from rural riding in southwestern Ontario, we should be proud of the role that we have played in building this nation. Since the earliest days of our nation's history, Canada has been a land of promise and a land of opportunity. And I want to work to help everybody in this riding realize these promises and enjoy these opportunities. I am proud of my record of accomplishment over the 16 years that I served you as your Member of Parliament. And Liberals, you here tonight can certainly be proud of the record of achievements that we have made in this riding. Whether it was getting funding for local community groups, investing in our local infrastructure, or helping constituents get information or help from government through my constituency office, or just simply showing up at community events to listen and to empathize with people. We showed the people of Haldimand, Norfolk that we cared, and that we were part of the community, and that we were willing to work for its betterment. We were successful because of the hard work of the local riding association and local Liberals like you, who took the time and the energy to be involved in the day-to-day operations of the association. You can be proud of the work you've done. By being involved, you have not only supported your community, but you have supported your country. And I want to say first and foremost, that for me it's been a real honor and a privilege to have served you, the residents of Haldimand, Norfolk. As most of you knew, I grew up in Hagersville in Haldimand County. I now raise my family down the road in Villanova, not too far where my dad grew up and where his dad lived. I chose to live here in this area rather than any other place in Canada because I believe it is the best place in the world, the best place in Canada to raise a family. It's a community of promise and a community of opportunity. And I believe that once again, the Liberal Party of Canada will represent this riding. Liberals, we too can be proud of our accomplishments in government. You know, when we left office a little over 3 years ago, Canada was a leader in the G7, the world's richest nations, and had one of the most successful economies in the world. With a fiscal record that was second to none, our performance and long-term prospects were envied the world over. Your Liberal government has successfully tabled 8 consecutive balanced budgets. We have reduced the federal debt by more than $60 billion, and within a few years, we would have cut our debt to GDP ratio by less than 25%. Now that means lower servicing costs and more money to go into things that Canadians want, that are important to Canadians. We created just over 3 million new jobs just since 1997, the strongest record of labor force participation and employment growth in the whole G7. We recorded the best growth in living standards in the G7, with per capita incomes rising more in the last 7 years than in the previous 17 years. This strong economic base gave us the freedom to build a better Canada. And thanks to our sound policies of our Liberal government, we had resources we needed to make the significant investments in things that were important to Canadians. In healthcare, in the education of our citizens, in our agricultural and rural communities, and in our farmers, in our local communities, so that they were stronger, safer, and better maintained, in our families and children, and in the environment, in order that we and our children and our children's children will have an environment that we not only desire, but deserve. All of these investments make Canada a better place to live and work and to raise a family. But as you know, that cannot, nor will not be enough to win an election. We just can't rely on the past accomplishments or victories to win over the hearts and minds of Canadians. We need to do more, and we will. So who today is taking all the credit for our great accomplishments? Stephen Harper. He's already taken credit for our hard work and the sacrifices of all Canadians in turning this economy around. The banking system in Canada is sound because of the policies and the practices of the past Liberal governments, and not the past actions or beliefs of Stephen Harper. Let's look at the reality. The fact is that Harper and his finance minister's incompetence has only added to our economic problems. Just last September, Stephen Harper claimed as an economist that if we were going to have some kind of big crash or recession, we probably would have had it by now. In October, he told us there was still no recession, but there sure was a lot of great buying opportunities in the stock market. I'm sure we all had the money to do that now, didn't we? In November, he claimed there would be only a short recession, and certainly no need to run a deficit.